it was on a Tuesday. We were living actually next door in a 2-story home, and I was coming from upstairs. I was coming downstairs, and I was watching. My wife was just with her mouth open watching this, and I said, "What's going on?" And I saw the tower in New York City with smoke, and I said, "Is this a movie?" So I really, it seemed unbelievable, what was happening. And then she said, "No, this is going on live." And I said, "Oh boy," I said, "we need to hang on here because we're going to have a rough few years ahead, And so during 2001, I was elected to be president of the local Islamic Center. And so I had to deal with the repercussions and the backlash from what was happening. So I think what happened immediately after 9/11 is that we received threatening phone calls. I think one person called and said he was going to burn down the Islamic Center of Boise. I think another one said Muslims will have to leave Boise. Okay, so get out of Idaho, basically. And over the years, we've had incidents of vandalism and, in addition to the hate calls. In October 2002, so this is a year after it happened, this is where someone threw a brick and broke a window of the Islamic Center on Orchard Street at that time. And a good anecdote here is we had made friends with the synagogue and other faith-based organizations. So Rabbi Dan Fink met with me, and he saw the damage, and he actually wrote me a check to repair the window. In terms of backlash, I think our women, especially those who dress in the traditional hijab, those who wear a veil, so they stuck like a sore thumb, right, in society, and they were harassed and insulted. And I remember one good friend of mine, and she went to a store, and she was born and raised here in Idaho, and converted to Islam, and someone insulted her, and spat on her, I think. So those are the things that happen to women. I know in Eastern Idaho, someone actually, there was a woman in a hijab with her children shopping in a local store, and one man came to her and started yelling to her to get out of the US, basically. And so the police came and arrested this man, and they went and searched his vehicle, and they found a loaded gun in the vehicle. So again, that tells you this was a frightening time, a climate of tension. And personally, the first casualty of something like that is always the truth and misinformation and disinformation being thrown around. I remember an article I think it was an article in the Statesman, saying that some students reported that at Boise State, they reported that a Muslim professor had claimed that the US had it coming, this tragedy of 9/11. And I think I was the only Muslim professor at Boise State at that time. So I called the provost and I said, they're reporting this, and I'm an engineering professor. I don't talk politics in my classes. So the provost told me, yes, we know it was said in a class, but we know it was not you. So it was reported as if I had done it. So again, that kind of made me worried about, this Muslim professor, and I was the only one at Boise State, so I was a little paranoid about where I went. I remember a spokesperson for the police, okay, coming and giving a talk and warning people to look for suspicious Middle Eastern type Muslims in Boise. So I had to laugh and chuckle at that because I said, what is a Middle Eastern type, you know? So, so I remember one instance, for example, there was this Hispanic laborer or farmer. He went to buy a lot of fertilizer at the local store, and he was stopped and questioned because he looked Middle Eastern. I guess they're looking at a certain type, okay? And my joke was, if you knew your statistics, you would know that the typical Muslim in Boise, Idaho, is actually a blonde, blue eyes Slavic type from Bosnia Herzegovina. So that kind of made people think, you know, hey, you know, they're white Muslims as well here, you know, and they're the biggest group actually in Boise. But you know, they came here during the 90s to flee that war in Bosnia, and they are still the largest group in Boise. Okay, and they have been invisible because they're white. I remember the first Friday, right after 9/11, I think we lost something like half of our congregation. They didn't show up, okay, for the Friday. And so I think it was good that the next week when the governor and the mayor came, I think it kind of reassured the Muslim community. What I did, because of I was trying to calm down the anxiety and the fear of local Muslims, you know, because of fearing backlash and retaliation and so on. Okay, but I'll tell you the one thing that happened there is there was another church down the street, and their members that Friday, that first Friday, when we lost half of our members, they actually came and formed a human cordon around the mosque. So while we were doing our service, you had these friends from the church just a block away come and support us and tell us that not to worry, we're here and you can do your service in peace and we will protect you. So again, that was another, I have tears remembering, Judy, okay? So she was she became a good friend after that,